We open up Ganke's introduction into the Insomniac Miles Morales Spider-Man universe by him already knowing that Miles Morales is indeed Spider-Man. But in the prequel novel Wings of Fury, there is a story to be told where we actually get to see how Ganke found out that his best friend was the web slinger. What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD, Winter here, back in here on Plays Source, and we're going to cover how Ganke found out Miles Morales was Spider-Man. So this story opens up with Miles Morales sneaking into the dorm at Vision's Academy where Miles and Ganke go for school. However, it is super late at night because Ganke accidentally picked up Miles' backpack instead of his own backpack, which his backpack does have Miles' suit in there. So Miles is definitely trying to get it back before Ganke has the chance to look at it in the next morning. So he sneaks into Ganke's dorm, which is his dorm as well, but then Ganke wakes up and questions why Miles didn't just get it from him the next day. And then Ganke starts to think a little bit deeper and asks how he even got into the dorm room without using the front door. Miles, definitely in a panic because he's starting to catch on to how weird this all is, says that he went through the window by using a dumpster that was right below it, so he used that to boost up to the window. But then Ganke refutes it, saying a dumpster is never there because, of course, Ganke, being a very intelligent man, I guess, you know, knows the ins and outs of all the dumpsters around the area, I guess. But he refutes that. They go on and on, they go back and forth. Ganke grows more and more suspicious as Miles tries to throw him off his tracks. They continue until Miles assures him he used the dumpster and they go their separate ways for the night. But then the next morning, Ganke tries to bring up one more time the fact that there never really is a dumpster under the window, and he's still trying to pick at that whole thing. But then again, Miles is successful in throwing him off the track, saying that he assures that there was a dumpster there, and then they go their separate ways. And like a lot of things happen in the book that don't retain to this whole thing until we get to a few chapters into the book at the beginning of the third act, where Peter and Miles are sitting down for lunch at a pizza place talking about the entire main plot of the story with Vulture and Starling and all that crazy stuff that we went over during the full book recap, which you should check out. I'll link it over here in a YouTube card for you to check out as well after this video. So they're conversing and talking about the whole main plot of the story, Vulture, Starling, all that good stuff, when all of a sudden a van hits the pizza place that they're sitting in currently. Under the debris, they are able to collect themselves and see that the van is one of Vulture's vans, and Vulture's men are in there trying to start chaos around the area they're at. So Peter and Miles run to the back alley, start to get suited up, but then as Miles is about to get his mask on, he sees a boy that's about to get bitten by one of the big bird monsters. Once again, guys, check out that full story recap. There's a lot to cover in that whole video, but there's a little boy that is about to get bitten by this bird monster, and he cannot waste a moment putting on this mask when this life that's right in front of him a few yards away is at risk. And this is where we start the reading in the book. Let's get right into it. And yes, the link for this book will be in the description if you want to read the book in full. It'll be on Amazon. Very cheap book, liked it a lot. Let's get right into the reading. I hear Peter call my name behind me. Miles, wait, your mask. But all I can see is Ganke, my friend, my roommate, unconscious on the pavement with some bird raptor looming over him, pinning him to the ground as it opens its jaws and eases its drooling fangs toward him. Leave him alone, I yell instinctively, reaching my hand forward, wrist up, and bending it before I can remember that I'm not in my mask. I've already released my web. The white ropes are flying forward, they're enveloping the beast's face, and it's clawing at itself, reeling backward until it trips over the hood of a taxi and stumbles down to the street, shrieking and growling in frustration that it can no longer see. It's then that I turn back to Ganke and realize he's not unconscious after all. His face was just turned away. He's looking up at me in awe, eyes wide with disbelief as he pushes himself to his feet. Spa, he crooks. He's so flustered he hasn't even bothered to pick up his phone with the Wi-Fi amplifier on the top, or notice the panicking people sprinting down the street before him. I kneel, pick up the device, brush it off a little, and hand it to him. He takes it in his hand and turns it over before looking at me again. My heart is pounding out of my chest. Ganke knows. Ganke knows. You are, he says, aren't you? I take a deep breath and remember what I told him that night I sneaked into our dorm and was so careful with my words. I was so paranoid about preserving my secret identity all the time. When I told him I would tell him if something was going on, I definitely lied. And now he knows. He knows everything. But if it comes down to my identity versus Ganke's life, he has to know which one I'm going to choose. Yeah, I shrug. Yeah, I am. But you, stutters Ganke, and that thing back there, and how could you, bro? I know, I shrug, slipping my hands in my pockets. I'm sorry. I know what he's going to ask. How could you keep this from me? How could you not trust me? How could you? Just how could you? Bro, he says again, this time a chuckle is spilling forth behind it, which surprises me. This is awesome. How could you be sorry? This is the best day of my life. I always knew you were a weirdo, but this explains everything. A sense of relief settles into my chest at the realization that he's not mad at me, but seemingly thrilled to find out his best friend specializes in beat making by day and hay making by night. And then a sense of, hey, what the hell for the weirdo comment. My face must change because he laughs again and claps me on the shoulder. Hey, no worries, man. We're both weirdos. I just can't believe I didn't figure it out. He claps a hand over his mouth and his eyes get huge. I raise my eyebrows questioningly. Of course, he exclaims with a laugh. The window, it all makes sense. Oh my god. So wait, I have questions. How many Spider-Men or women, spider people, are there? Can you communicate with actual spiders or just human spider mutants? Do you eat flies? How do you hide your extra eyes? Like, where even are they? Can you shoot webbing out of your ass? Because you know, that's where most spiders spin web from. Ganke, I say, taking several steps back as another one of those giant bird humans leaps over the gap between the buildings across the street. Not to blow off your questions again, but can they wait? We've got bigger problems here. Yet another bird squeaks in our direction before thankfully losing interest and proceeding with its chicken walk down the street. And that is pretty much the end of the segment there. They go on to again take on the whole bird monster situation, and Ganke actually helps save the day as well. So you can all catch that up in the recap video I did for the whole story, but overall I thought this part was super cool, super endearing. I wish that it was in the game, honestly. I wish a lot of things about this book were in the game and different aspects like that, but at least we got a little bit of that with Miles' mom knowing that he's Spider-Man in the game. But I thought it would have been really cool to see this really cool interaction with you know, him and Ganke and all that, and I thought it was super endearing. I read it in the voices like the game. It was super cool, and I liked it a lot. So that was a pretty cool moment there, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and let me know most importantly down in the comment section, if your best friend turned out to be Spider-Man, how would you react? Like, would it be a similar thing of Ganke? Would you just think it was so cool that you wouldn't think it was any sort of level of like deceit or whatever, or that he was lying to you the whole time? Or would you be a little bit more angry? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure also, while you are down there, check out our description where you can find links to our Discord server, our Twitter, as well as an Anchor link that way you can listen to long form content and podcasts. Remember those of course being Road to Miles Morales and Road to PS5. Both of those are over with the Road to series, but fret not, 2021 we are back with more Road 2 series. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Stories to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.